for them to queue up. Good evening. Welcome everyone to this year's annual Red Ribbon Ceremony. We have an agenda full of presentations and speakers. But before that, I'd like to inform you of what Red Ribbon is about. It's a campaign that was started after undercover DEA agent Kiki Camarena was murdered by drug traffickers. And this is to honor his memory, and which just is a unified and visible commitment to drug-free America. Red Ribbon in Wallingford is actually a week-long event. Ran from last Monday and all the way through Halloween. And we've had a number of events this week put on by various agencies. Coalition for a Better Wallingford did a hidden in plain sight presentation, which if you haven't seen it, I think it's worth your while to see it. It demonstrates how an ordinary teenager's room, or how an ordinary teenager can hide things in their room very easily. I think it's a worthwhile presentation to see. Obviously tonight, as you were walking up the sidewalk, you saw the luminaries that were put up in memory of those who have lost their lives and their families. So after this, on Saturday, the police department is a national drug take-back program that runs from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. Just pull in the parking lot. They'll be there waiting for you. They'll take care of you. And on Sunday, the Elks is putting on a trunk or treat program for kids. And we will be there to, again, spread the word for drug prevention. So we welcome you to do that. So as you walked into the vestibule there, you saw, and you see it all around Town Hall actually, is the artwork that the elementary schools in town have put up and made for us, and some of them are just very touching, amazing, from the mouths of babes, so to speak, what they can come up with. It's very, very, very fascinating. And there are some exhibits out there that you might want to visit after the ceremony is over. Coalition for a Better Wallingford has a table. Youth and Social Services in Wallingford has a table. She and the Lyman Hall SAD groups are represented here today, as well as the Wallingford Health Department. So let's get to it. First person on the list to be called up today is Soane Obas, and she's going to give us a few words.
Hi everyone, how are you? I hope everyone's doing well tonight. My name's Sawani Obas, and I'm a sophomore at Lyman Hall. I recently joined SAD because of my strong desire to educate others about the negative effect of drug use. So today I'm going to share with you how Lyman Hall celebrated Red Ribbon Week. All week we've had a red ribbon scavenger hunt. A ribbon is moved around the school, and students complete a Google form with its location when they find it. The first student wins a prize. All students get entered to win a grand prize on Friday, which is tomorrow. This past Sunday, we decorated the school with red ribbons by the entrance areas, so all students would be sure to see the red ribbons. Monday, we chalked the walkways with messages about Red Ribbon Week. And on Tuesday, Youth and Social Services visited Lyman Hall during all 3 lunch waves. We shared information about vaping, playing games, and provided prizes. This allows for teens to learn in an engaging way. On Wednesday, we gave out red ribbon bracelets at the lunch waves and had a red ribbon frame for photo ops. Thursday, students signed individual red ribbons and pledged to remain drug-free. The red ribbons will be put together to make a display. Tomorrow, we will have an obstacle course for students to use. Students will use drug goggles to see the effects of how alcohol can make on driving. Overall, I've enjoyed raising awareness about drug use. The use of nicotine products, particularly e-cigarettes, is a rising issue among young adults. It hurts me to see my peers succumb to unhealthy and destructive decisions. One of my favorite quotes is, "You are free to choose, but you are not free from the consequence of your choice." Being able to act on this issue with the help of other SAD members has made me feel accomplished and included. Thank you to Mrs. Bright and my peers for allowing me to take part in this class. Thank you.
Thank you, Sawani. Next up is a couple of kids from the middle school. Dag, come on up. Emma Nemeth and Gabriel Salah, come on up.
Hi, my name is Emma Nerdy Nemeth. I'm an 8th grader at DAG and recently in health, we learned about Red Ribbon Week. This is an essay I wrote. Red Ribbon Week, the time when the importance of living a drug-free lifestyle is most expressed. During this week, we learn why you should live a drug-free life. When you misuse drugs, you are harming your body and life in several different ways, even when it may not seem like you are at the time. Sometimes, using drugs just once can lead to an addiction. If that happens, there are many negative effects. You could end up spending all of your money on drugs and no longer be able to afford your basic needs. Drugs can also alter your personality and how you respond to situations. In the end, they could take away your ability to participate in activities you are passionate about, prevent you from getting a good job, or even result in death. If it's a family member that is addicted, you can even lose them to an overdose. For these reasons and more, it is extremely important for me to stay drug-free. I want to be able to live my life to the fullest and be my best self. I believe that you can still have a lot of fun and be happy while being drug-free. For my friends who might be tempted to try drugs, I want to be a positive role model and show them that together we can remain drug-free. So many people have lost themselves, family members, and friends to drug misuse, and I truly believe that it is very important to spread awareness about this topic. By addressing the previous mistakes of people who have been affected by drugs, we can hopefully prevent this generation of people and future generations from making the same mistakes. Whether you, a family member, or a friend has been directly affected by drugs, or you have only heard about it, the topic is always important to learn about. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Gabriel Salah, and I'd like to share with you a little bit of a sad fact that I recently learned. In 2021, 106,000 families were left in ruins. There was 106,000 people who were ripped from our world, and each one of them with a family and people who knew them, sad because of it. 106,000 people died to drug-related overdose according to the National Institute on Drug Abuse. And each one of those tragedies didn't just hurt the drug abuser who died, but also the people around them. Imagine if every single one of those 106,000 had just 3 people who knew them through life. 3 people who missed their friends or family, each one of them saddened and depressed by the loss of their loved one. However, most people obviously know more than 3 people. The average person knows 600 people and is close to about 20. That's 63 million people who know or loved someone who died of drug-related overdose in a single year. To me, and hopefully everyone else, living a drug-free lifestyle isn't just about having good health, isn't just about keeping your job, isn't just about maintaining a healthy relationship with those around you. It's also about keeping the people you know and love happy, and most importantly, with you. It's easy to see some of those numbers as just that, numbers, lines on a graph that happen to increase each year. But they're really not. Each one of them is a tragedy, a story of someone with a family, friends, pets, people they knew and loved. They were a person with a name, and in however many years they were living, it all came down to dying to drugs and being placed on a statistic that I'm now sharing with you. The loss of another person can be one of the most painful experiences we ever experience, and we all have to deal with it at some point in our lives. But it never gets easier, and when you know that the person you loved didn't just die to natural causes, and you know that they died because of the painful wrath of an issue that affects the world, as large as drugs, an issue that's controlled them, addicted them, trapped them, and then killed them with their own hands, it leaves you beyond shattered. As a reminder, that's an estimated 63 million people in one country in the entirety of the world in a single year alone that felt that kind of heartbreak. This isn't an issue that's getting easier either, or a war that we're winning. The 106,000 from 2021 is more than double what it was in 2015, just 6 years prior. Issues like drugs are ones that are hardest to deal with. They destroy communities, they pillage families, and they take lives in ways we don't know how to combat. But everyone can certainly do their part, because that's where all change starts, with the single person. Sometimes doing drugs isn't a choice, but rather imposed by a means of peer pressure. However, if we make the choice to not use drugs, we help others to not be forced to use drugs, because it's really hard to be peer pressured into doing something if your peers aren't doing it. As Mahatma Gandhi famously said, "Be the change you wish to see in the world." And with an issue like this, that's exactly why I choose to be drug-free. Thank you.
Thank you. That was awesome. Next up is from the Sheehan SAD group, Danica Tangretti. And she actually has a video for us, correct? I thought.
Hello, I'm Danica Tangretti, and I'm a junior at Sheehan High School. I've been a member of SAD Club for 3 years now because I truly do believe in the cause. There are so many stories every year of so many people in just my school who make the wrong choices, take the wrong things, and end up paying dearly for it. And so it feels good to be part of a group that can help spread awareness about staying drug-free and making the right choice and doing the right things to yourself. So in preparation for Red Ribbon Week, SAD Club ran an advisory where students decorated templates of brains, filling them in with the things that keep them happy and drug-free. They were put up outside the cafeteria for all students to see and celebrate, for themselves and for each other. Then this week, the Sheehan SAD Club created a poster of thumbprint hearts, made by students who pledged to be drug-free for life. We then ran a trivia activity to spread awareness about the negative effects of drug use and the laws surrounding them. Tomorrow, the entire school is encouraged to wear red for Red Ribbon Week itself, and we'll be taping teachers to the wall as a symbol for how substance abuse holds you back from being the best person you can be. My hope is that all the activities that SAD Club and Red Ribbon Week as a whole carry out can help others see the benefits of being kind to your mind and living drug-free. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, next up from Wallingford Youth and Social Services, Maria Quiles. It's our new drug and alcohol counselor. Welcome.
Good evening, everyone. It is a pleasure to be here. My name is Maria Quiles. I am newly hired substance abuse counselor for the Youth and Social Services Department here in the town of Wallingford. I currently work full-time for MCCA in New Haven, also as a substance abuse counselor. I have a master's and bachelor's in clinical psychology, currently working on my licensing for drug and alcohol license, and been doing addiction work for about 5 years and about 15 years of adolescent work. So I'm really excited to be here. I'm incredibly surprised when I began working here, the amount of emphasis for Red Ribbon Week, and it is incredibly joyful for me to hear the kids talk about making commitments to being drug-free. It brings joy to my heart, you guys. You guys were amazing. I believe that this kind of events allow for much-needed awareness on this subject and for information to be disseminated regarding what exactly is addiction. And what is addiction? There's a lot of different models that I can go into, and I only have like less than 10 minutes. So right now in our country, we tend to view addiction under the moral model, which stipulates that addiction is somehow a character flaw, and as such, the treatment ends up being involved in the criminal justice system in some way. And I am a fierce advocate that this needs to change. Addiction is a chronic brain disease. And because I only have so little time, I got a very brief video to kind of explain that concept a little bit for you. Ready when you are.
Say the word addiction, and drugs such as alcohol, heroin, and cocaine often come to mind. But other substances like nicotine, marijuana, and prescription pain medications can also be addictive. So can certain activities such as gambling and sex. Whatever the case, addiction involves craving and a loss of control, with the substance use or activity continuing even if it causes harm. This can include problems with relationships, jobs, school, money, or your health. Addiction is not due to weakness or a lack of willpower. Instead, it's a chronic disease involving changes in the brain. There, billions of nerve cells or neurons communicate through a series of signals and chemical messengers. When messages leave one neuron, they attach to a receptor on the receiving one, like a key fitting into a lock. In addiction, this communication process is disrupted. Large amounts of a brain chemical called dopamine are released, overwhelming receptors and resulting in the high that people experience. To keep that feeling going, they take the drug or engage in the behavior again and again. Eventually, the brain changes and adapts, driving them to seek out more just to get the same feeling. That's called tolerance. Stopping a substance can cause withdrawal symptoms such as nausea, tremors, depression, or severe anxiety. Taking too much of a substance or a combination of substances can result in an overdose and serious illness, or even death. Young people are especially vulnerable to addiction. The impulse control center of their brains, known as the prefrontal cortex, isn't fully developed, making them more prone to risky behavior. And using substances can cause lasting harm to their developing brains. If you think your child might be experimenting with substances, talk to them about it. Parents can help by taking a strong stand against substance use and teaching their kids healthier ways to deal with life's stresses. Like any other disease, such as diabetes or asthma, addiction can be successfully treated. So if you or someone you know has a problem with addiction, talk to your doctor, a mental health professional, or an addiction specialist. Getting help may save a life.
So if there's one thing that I want you to remember out of tonight, besides the amazing words of the students that have spoken here today, is that addiction is not a moral failure. The person that's addicted is not a bad person. They're sick. And as such, we need to treat it as a disease. And diseases have treatment. I encourage you to reach out to the department if there's any way that I can serve the community in providing information, treatment, or resources for anybody affected with substance abuse. It is my sincere privilege to be here today. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Maria. It's great to have you. Next up, from the Health Department here in town, Vanessa Bautista, to give us a few words.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you all for being here tonight, a special night where we celebrate life, a drug-free life. My message to you is, don't be afraid to ask for help when you need it. Asking for help isn't a sign of weakness, it's a sign of strength, because it shows that you have the courage to admit and accept the help. And even when you are struggling, even when you're discouraged and you feel like other people have given up on you, don't ever give up on yourself. Let's learn to love ourselves. Don't take chances on your life. Now, it's crucial to remember why we are all here tonight. Substance abuse has far-reaching consequences on one's health. It can lead to serious physical and mental health issues, destroying lives and communities. Substance abuse can greatly impact our physical well-being. To raise awareness for Red Ribbon Week, the Wallingford Health Department implemented a program within the middle schools. Our public health educators spent the day with each health class. They conducted a short presentation that highlighted the significance of Red Ribbon Week and gave students a chance to actively participate by creating posters. The students were provided with a 3 to 5 sentence prompt asking them to state why they believe Red Ribbon Week is important and what their poster meant to them. Each student was then given a large piece of paper and the tools needed to create a poster, slogan, or banner. Many students engaged with this activity in different ways. Some putting quotes on their pages, creating artwork, coming up with their own slogans, or using the 2023 theme for Red Ribbon Week. Be kind to your mind, live drug-free. We found many students use their imagination to create original and insightful posters, each different in their own way. Throughout this month, we had the ability to reach almost 250 students between the two middle schools. Among them, we were fortunate to have Gabriel and Emma Nardi join us and share their thoughts on Red Ribbon Week with all of you this evening. I invite you all after the presentation to stop by our health department table and vote for the best artwork. The winner will be rewarded a movie night gift basket. And please take a walk by our office. We have more other posters hanging by our office. Thank you again, and a special thank you to the students who took part in this wonderful event.
Thank you, Vanessa. Next up, from the Coalition for a Better Wallingford, Diane Mark, Executive Director.
Good evening, everyone. I'm going to throw Gary under the bus right now because he took the first half of my speech. I was going to give a little history on where Red Ribbon Week originated, but thank you, Gary. So today we continue to honor, following what Gary said, today we continue to honor all of those that have given their lives for the cause by wearing red ribbon, signifying that we pledge to live drug-free lives. Between 2019 to 2023, the town of Wallingford has had approximately 60 deaths due to unintentional drug overdoses. Even one is too many. The Coalition for a Better Wallingford is committed to educating our community on how substance use by our youth and culture surrounding it is something we should want to change for the better. So many lives are permanently diminished or permanently ended by drug abuse. We aim to further our mission by providing services to our community that will enrich their lives. People turn to drugs for many reasons, some being stress, mental health disease, peer pressure, just plain boredom. We offer programs such as our creative art program for kids of all ages, as well as game nights and tutoring to help youth with things that they might be dealing with, and give them something to do after school hours, to meet new people and to hopefully leave an impression on them so that they could just, try to be better people, grow up to be better people. We provide information to their parents about the realities of drug use, and we encourage parents to play an active role in their children's lives. While we are painfully aware that no amount of public service can completely eliminate drug use and abuse, we are confident that our programs and our outreach will continue to give the community the tools and prevent what can be prevented, and address what cannot before it's too late. The Coalition for a Better Wallingford thanks you for your support, your continued support. We have 2 of our students that's been working with us since the summer, and they're going to speak.
Thank you. Hello, my name is Brendan Hawk. I'm a sophomore at Lyman Hall High School. Now, this past summer, I participated in the YSS work program, and I worked at the Coalition for a Better Wallingford. While participating in this program, the Coalition educated me on drug prevention and overall human decency. Now, I've learned several pieces of important information, such as the suicide hotline number being 988, and how vaping as a teenager can make you prone to addiction, along as how it contains more nicotine, meaning that vaping is ultimately worse. Now, in my opinion, being informative about these topics can steer you in the right direction. I became more aware of mental health disease and how massive an impact it has on us in today's society. And staying drug-free doesn't only help you with your mental well-being, but also your physical health. Now that the summer is over and I'm back to school, I continue to spend time volunteering for community service hours at the Coalition. And I will continue doing so even after my requirements are met. I enjoy helping the Coalition and with the community, with the events and everything else along with it. And I'm happy to continue to learn more about substance abuse, addiction, and overall human decency. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Lena. I'm a sophomore at Lyman Hall. I also spent my summer working at the Coalition for a Better Wallingford through the YSS work program. My experience with the Coalition was the best. I currently teach the art class there every other Sunday for community service hours, and during the summer I worked there. The Coalition is a very welcoming place, and it gives teens like me things to do and opportunities for community service. Spending time there has taught me a lot about drug prevention and safety. I've learned and taught a lot during the art classes, and my time at the Coalition overall has just been an amazing and educational experience.
Now Natalie will have some words.
Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for coming tonight. It's really an honor to be able to continue the work that the Coalition started years and years ago. I'm super proud of our kids. I'm super proud of the changes that I have seen between Red Ribbon Week last year and Red Ribbon Week this year. It is sad to see how many bags are outside this year. Those are from deaths in our Wallingford community, not only Wallingford residents, but people from other towns that came to Wallingford and overdosed and died. So when you leave here tonight, I want you to remember that it's not just, Red Ribbon Week this week. In this world that we live in now, it's Red Ribbon Week every week. It's not wasted on me how precious life is and how, to Gabe's point earlier, the amount of lives that are affected by one death. So when you are walking out tonight and you're holding hands with your mom, maybe grandma's here, husband, wife, I really want you to squeeze their hand just a little bit tighter because there's somebody leaving here tonight that does not have that. And that's not wasted on me or I think anyone else that is in this room. So please continue to keep that Red Ribbon Week message in your hearts. Please, please listen to all the good people around you that want you here and want you to be safe. And know that the Coalition for a Better Wallingford is here for you. It might not be about addiction, it might not be about substance abuse, but if you're having a bad day, we are here for you and we will continue to build a strong Wallingford community. Thank you.
Very nice, very nice. Thank you. Right now, I want to invite up Mayor William Dickinson to give us some of his words and wisdom.
Thank you. It is important we're here tonight. And it's not only the coalition, but public health. It's a public health issue. And thankfully, we have two departments addressing it. The State Health Department tells us that in 2023, there have been 905 overdose-related deaths by the first week of September. In 2022, there were 1,464 confirmed fatalities involving illegal opioids and stimulants as the main cause. And now it's 65 and older age people who are increasingly becoming victims of this scourge. So, Red Ribbon Week started in the 80s, and it was about smoking, drugs, and alcohol. So here we are, decades later, and we've morphed into vaping, which is a form of smoking. We have marijuana we can smoke now. We've got medically prescribed opioids that can be used. We are facing a major, major scourge in our society. So I had an interesting conversation with a gentleman. And he said, actually at this point, many years ago, he was a smoker. And he was smoking one evening in front of the television. You know, 1.5-year-old daughter. He put the cigarette down, turned to attend to something else, and caught a movement out of his eye, and there was a daughter picking up the cigarette with it headed toward her mouth. At that point, he decided, I will no longer smoke. And he hasn't. Decades later. If we care enough about someone else, we can control our behavior. That's part of it. There's a great quote. If I can locate it here. No culture has ever been able to provide a better shipyard for building storm-proof vessels for the journey of a person from from the cradle to grave than the individual nourished in a loving family. That's Lauren Vanderpost and Jean Taylor in her book, Testament to the Bushman. We are all responsible. It's not someone else's problem. We are being watched, each of us, by other people all of the time. Especially our really young ones are watching those who are a little older. And they will repeat exactly what they see. They will repeat what they hear. They will pantomime the lives around them. Every day, every hour, every minute, there's a responsibility. It's not someone else's problem. So, in 1916, the Federal Drug Administration had the opportunity to end vaping. No, it cannot be sold. Did they? The lobbyists lined up outside of Congress, the lobbyists lined up at the White House, and when the rule came out in the FDA in, I believe it was 1917, within 1 year, there was an 806% use of vaping by teenagers. Someone else failed. We all failed. We didn't let the people who make the decisions know. We don't agree with this. Every day, every hour, every minute. There's no time to relax. It's an incredible burden. But if we don't pick it up and carry it, who is going to do it? What's supposed to protect us? Testing. Was there adequate testing on the vaping? No, there was not adequate testing. Was there adequate testing on opioids, OxyContin, and others? For long-term use, there was no testing. So after 10 years, suddenly, wow, what are all these prescriptions being used for? Our medical community fell prey to it. You can make money by writing prescriptions. Woo. There are communities that were millions of pills brought to households. Now we have marijuana. Illegal. So, okay, there's arguments. It's okay. It's okay. It can be therapeutic. Okay. So let's just quick legalize it. No testing. The protocols of our civilization, our democracy, is that we are protected from harmful substances by protocols. Where were the protocols? Let everyone make their own mind up, you know? Hey, why worry about everyone else? Just, if I feel like doing it, why can't I do it? And if it turns out to be a problem, I caused it, no one else. We don't treat anything else that way in our society. Where's the testing? If there's enough interest in something that is has a medical and a physiological effect on a human, there must be testing. And the testing can't be governed by an individual just deciding, well, I'll try it out and see what happens. Because then we get the pain of loss. You know, there was, in the book by Bert and John Jacobs, founders of Life is Good, wonderful book. Their struggles, their emphasis on the positive, There's a little parable they repeat. There was a Cherokee chief. He had a grandson. He was sitting with his grandson, and he said, "Are you a good boy?" The little boy said, "Well, sometimes." And the chief said, "Only sometimes? Well, when are you not good?" "Well, sometimes I don't do what my mother and father want. Sometimes I'm not very nice to my brother." She said, "Well, you really don't want to act that way, do you?" The little boy sat there. He said, "Well, Grandpa, why is it that sometimes I do good things and sometimes I don't do good things?" Chief said, "Inside of every person, there are two wolves. One is good, and one is bad." The boy said, "Well, what are they doing?" And she said, "They're fighting one another." The boy thought about that a little while and said, "Well, which one wins?" Chief reached out, tousled his hair, and said, "The one you feed So if we care, we've got to show it, express it, help guide other people. That helps feed our good wolf. Hopefully feeds the wolf and every other person. It is a wonderful evening for us to dedicate ourselves again. And a mission that ultimately means a difference in our society. Let's win. Thank you for being here. And before I leave, and this was mentioned, I think, earlier, but this is a program sponsored by Education. I see the principal of Sheehan right here, and it is Chris Haron, who was an NBA basketball player. He is coming to Wallingford. He will be addressing students in our middle school and high schools. And in the evening, Wednesday, November 29th, 6 to 8 p.m., he will be in the Mark T. Sheehan High School auditorium, correct? Expressing his journey, where he major impact on his career, family, etc., addiction. A wonderful time to strengthen everyone in what we need to deal with and the experience of others. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. Now I want to invite up Director of Wallingford Youth and Social Services, Miranda.
A lot of great speeches tonight. Everyone did a wonderful job. I wanted to acknowledge some of the people that aren't here tonight, that weren't able to make it for a lot of different reasons. Spanish community of Wallingford this week participated with their Adelante students, putting the red ribbons that you see around the trees in the center of town as a reminder for people that it's Red Ribbon Week. They also put in store windows or by registers, in the center of town, the businesses, what it means, what is Red Ribbon, how you can participate. that kind of information was shared. The YMCA participated with making healthy choices, getting involved by putting out a free guest pass membership for the week to celebrate Red Ribbon Week. In addition to YSS being at, I heard it mentioned that we were at the high schools by one of the students for the lunch waves. We also were at the middle schools doing the same thing. So that, getting information out, talking about mental health strategies, as well as information on vaping and why it's not healthy for you, why it's not good. Kindness Rocks, I don't know if people were able to see any of them this week. We actually pulled in the community of Wallingford for that one. At our booth at Celebrate Wallingford, we had people of all ages come paint rocks, different messages of support, little pictures were painted, and then we actually added our information, our contact information from Youth and Social Services, if anybody's looking for more resources. And we later on hid them around. They came out really well. It was our way of kind of pulling the community in and participating in that. Now, before I wrap up and move on to ending the ceremony, I wanted to share that there's a couple of people, which I'm sure some of you can probably figure out who, are wrapping things up with their tenure. So I'm gonna move to my notes on this one. But I want to take a moment and acknowledge a couple of people before we end the night. In 2012, Coalition for a Better Wallingford was established as a result of alarming drug and alcohol addiction abuse statistics among teens and young adults in this community. It is hard to believe that this coalition was developed 11 years ago. I was doing the math, and that's not my strong suit, so I was impressed. Many of us in this room know Ken Welch. His passion for this cause is like no other. At its inception, he's been able to draw people in, and he took this coalition to a level where it was seen as a model for other coalitions in the state, which is quite amazing. Ken has retired from his position as executive director. This was earlier this year, but we all wanted to thank him for his service to the Wallingford community. So Ken, if you can come up, we have something for you. So we got him a plaque, and it says, Mayor's Council on Substance Abuse Prevention, with our greatest appreciation, presented to Ken Welch. Thank you for the many years of dedication and passion that you have displayed in this fight against substance abuse. Red Ribbon Week in today's day. Thank you. You're welcome. So the next person that we want to acknowledge is Mayor Dickinson. If anyone here has been able to spend just a few minutes with Mayor Dickinson, and he just demonstrated it with his wonderful speech, where this topic of drug use, substance use is being discussed, like tonight, you will without question see his passion and his heart for this cause. We congratulate you on all that you have accomplished in your career here in Wallingford as mayor. So please enjoy your next chapter, and thank you. So we also have a plaque for you as well. And again, this is from the Mayor's Council on Substance Abuse Prevention, with our greatest appreciation, presented to Mayor William Dickinson on today's date. Thank you for the many years of dedication and passion that you have displayed in the fight against. So if the youth in the room that I spoke with earlier could run out and get those raffle prizes, we can do the raffle. And then the evening will commence. For all of you to know too that this was recorded on on government TV, so you can always, for the families in the room that want to sit back and watch their youth speak, those incredible speeches, you can do that. Okay? All right, here they come. Who wants to do Lyman Hall? All right. So Lyman Halls was the, let's see, the Dunkin' Donut gift card.
All right. Blank, okay.
Well, don't read the number.
Oh, number, oh, okay. All right, so the number is 415325. Once again, 4, 1, oh, hey!
Okay, excellent. Let's see.
The number is 415057. 415057.
Yeah? Danica. All right. Come on up. Yeah, that was easy. All right, so the next one. All right, so the next one is the gift bag from Youth and Social Services with red ribbon activities and a $10 Chick-fil-A.
415071. 415071.
That's why it didn't work.
415068. 415068.
All right, we're going.
415261.
Yeah? All right, good, we have a winner. Okay. And then that, Travis.
All right. For that right there, that little basket, the Cornish basket. The winner is 415335. You got it? All right.
So for those of you that did not put tickets in yet for the votes, for the posters at the health department table, feel free to do so before you leave, okay? All right, so that wraps up our event for tonight. Thank you so much for coming out.
There are refreshments outside, so help yourselves, please. Enjoy.